What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Saturday, May 27th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 7-game MLB slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So I'm just going to pay up for this pick. I like Luis Castillo. He's pitching against the low salary batting team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Luis Castillo only giving up a .544 OPS versus righties and a .511 OPS versus switch hitters, facing 3 righties and 2 switch hitters. But I like this pick because the Pirates have only hit 7 of his last 42 pitches. That's a 167 batting average. So Luis Castillo is $10,800 FanDuel salary, $1,600 less on DraftKings, averaging 35 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 2.97, record is 3-2, pitching an average of 94 pitches per game, and Vegas thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game, 7.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Luis Castillo here versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Nathaniel Lowe. He has a 44% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Dean Kramer. Nathaniel Lowe batting 16% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .866 OPS versus righties. Dean Kramer pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 27% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .983 OPS versus lefties. So Nathaniel Lowe is 2 for 7 here versus Kramer. It's a 286 batting average, and he's $3,200 FanDuel salary, $1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games and nothing under a 9, and as high as an 18. So he's got a batting average of 286. So I like Nathaniel Lowe here versus Dean Kramer. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Tucupita Marcano. He's got a 92% batting advantage here over Luis Castillo. So this is a super value play. It's pretty much a sleeper pick here. So if you're not going to play Luis Castillo, or if your lineup just happens to need that minimum salary player, take a look at Tucupita. Let me just pronounce this slowly. Tucupita Marcano. Tucupita Marcano. So this guy, only $2,300 FanDuel salary, same price on DraftKings. Now, he's batting 61% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .821 OPS versus righties. And Luis Castillo. Okay guys, it's time to announce the winner of our $25 weekly PayPal giveaway. And the winner is Walking Miracles. Congratulations, Walking Miracles. You are the winner of this week's $25 PayPal giveaway. Please reply to our comment to collect your prize. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy. And we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. He's giving up a .787 OPS versus lefties. So Luis Castillo does pitch his worst ball versus lefty batters, and by a pretty big margin, 31% worse than his other pitches. So the splits are on Tecupita's side here. Fantastic splits, and he is averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, and that was largely due to his last 2 out of his last 3 games scored 30.7 and 41.2 fantasy points. So 2 monsters in his last 3 games, and 3 out of his last 4 he scored fantasy points. Has a batting average of .266. So for a minimum salary-ish player here, I think he's worth a shot. So I like Tecupita Marcano here versus Luis Castillo. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like J.D. Davis with a 64% batting advantage over Corbin Burns. J.D. Davis batting 28% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .865 OPS versus righties, and Corbin Burns pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 36% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .794 OPS versus righties. And I thought this was interesting. J.D. Davis is 1 for 2 here versus Burns, and that 1 hit was a home run. So he's only $2,900 FanDuel salary. He's $1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and 2 of those were monster scores, over 34 fantasy points. He has a batting average of .278. So I like J.D. Davis as a value play here versus Corbin Burns. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So I got a stud pick here. I like Corey Seager. He's got a 16% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Dean Kramer. Corey Seager batting a .954 OPS versus righties. Dean Kramer. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .983 OPS versus lefty batters, and Corey Seager is already 2 for 3 here versus Kramer with a 1.334 OPS. So he's $3,900 FanDuel salary, $1,700 more on DraftKings, averaging 14 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, has a batting average of .343. So I like Corey Seager here versus Dean Kramer. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. So, stud pick, I like Bryce Harper. He's 10 for 26 here versus Charlie Morton. That's a .385 batting average, and he has a 1.1 OPS. He has a home run, a triple, a double in there. So he bats very well here versus Charlie Morton. He's $3,800 FanDuel salary, $1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .333, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. So I like Bryce Harper here versus Charlie Morton. Now, if you're looking to save some salary, I also like Austin Hayes. He has a 36% batting advantage over Andrew Heaney. And Austin Hayes is batting a .700 OPS versus lefties. Andrew Heaney pitching 55% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .730 OPS versus righties. But I like this pick because Austin Hayes is 3 for 5. It's a 600 batting average and a 2 OPS versus Heaney. He's got a double and a home run out of those 3 hits and a single. So he's only $2,800 FanDuel salary, 1,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, has a batting average of .311, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. So I like Austin Hayes here versus Andrew Heaney. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.